Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 866 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined once again in pretend low Earth orbit by Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
Gentlemen, everything's great.
It's okay.
Remember last show I mentioned that I had gone out and gotten my COVID vaccines and such because I was worried about being able to get them.
You afraid that that brainworm is gonna make it harder to get vaccines?
I think so. I don't think he's a Canadian brainworm though, so maybe we can still cross the border. And...
At least we can have real camembert now.
Oh yeah.
Real what?
Real cheese.
Yeah, he's getting rid of
he's embracing raw milk and listeria. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's good. If it's good enough for Europe, it's good enough for us.
Oh my god.
Sure, why not?
Listen, I like good cheeses. But you know what I also like? Not being consumption. What was that? He has the consumption, you know.
Chris, at any point in your life, have you brought foodstuffs from one nation over a border into another nation?
So I would never violate the import-export restrictions on
cheeses,
for
wines,
instance,
meats.
You know, a 5-year dried back leg Iberico ham.
Yeah.
You know, whose only crime was that they didn't remove the hoof before they started the drying process.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
The hoof is the tastiest part.
Yeah. So,
well, if you want to move away from America, and Canada is just a little bit too close, and Ohio family has the right idea. They have built a Stargate in their backyard, a 50,000-pound concrete Stargate, complete with a dialing device.
A DHD, yeah. I have to say, I loved Stargate. You know that.
Yeah.
Do we know it doesn't work?
Have we tested it?
Yeah, I was going to ask, did they use it yet? Or
my understanding is that only chevrons 1 through 2 and 3 have properly encoded.
Yes, they can only go downtown.
Yeah, they can use it to get to the grocery store.
Oh, they get to the mailbox.
That's Yep. That's that. I have to say that's like the coolest thing, and it kind of makes me wish that I had land.
Yeah, if you had land, you could have your own Stargate.
If you look at it, it's really not that big. You could absolutely fit that on your property.
Well, that's
your
true.
HOA might have something to say about it.
That's true, but it's more about like it needs presence. It needs a space to like truly breathe. If you
just
put it
not next to the bird feeder.
Yeah. It would not look good in my neighborhood. Although, I have a nice little easement next to my yard. If the HOA lets me put it on the easement, maybe that'd be cool.
Sure.
Much to his wife's frustration, Ventura and his sons committed to building their own Stargate once from about 15 years ago. They used a plastic swimming pool to mold the interior portion of the ring. It's got Steel E-bar inside of it. Oh, shut up. Once they had a good mold, they ordered a truckload of concrete.
If you're going to do it, man, you got to do it right. And that's right. That's pretty awesome.
A dozen yards of concrete.
I wonder if it'll end up being like the thing, like the guys who build like the replica sets of the West Wing, of the Oval Office, or of like the Enterprise Bridge. And then they do such a good job that eventually crews come and film there. Yeah. Maybe this guy's eventually just going to be like a filming location for episodes of Stargate, as long as they want to go to that
tell me
one
this isn't
forest.
Like the backwoods of Vancouver, right?
It totally could be.
I mean, that's Canada.
Yeah.
Even though it's not Canada, but it's Canada.
The little mossy rocks really add to it too. It's great.
They should have really paid for like a big photorealistic like canvas that they could hang on the other side, so it looks like you're looking to a different place.
Well, you got to get the wibbles.
Yeah.
The whoosh.
I wonder how you could fake that. I mean, I guess a giant OLED.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next one up on the list is possibly the single greatest story in weeks, maybe months.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Alex Jones has been forced to liquidate his assets because he's a horrible, horrible liar. And he hurt children and their families and refused to stop for years and years and years. And he has to now sell Infowars. And who bought it, guys?
The Onion.
The Onion.
Beautiful.
I mean, and Rob, you said this right before we dialed out, but I said the exact same thing the moment I read it. I had to check if it wasn't an Onion article saying that they did this.
First thing I did is check to make sure this wasn't an Onion article.
Yep. I mean, it will be, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's just amazing. They haven't disclosed what they paid for it, right?
No, but apparently they the families of the children killed in the Parkland shooters were all for it. They're like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna sell it at a fucking discount. Get out of the office. Like, kicked him out of his offices.
It's kind of great. The one thing about it that I guess like I have a lot of complicated feelings. One is that, you know, you want it actually to be sold for money because the money is actually going to people who deserve it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the whole and I don't really know Infowars that well. I'm obviously, you know, I wasn't like a daily listener or anything. I had enough supplements, and I didn't need like to be told what kind of supplements or what kind of Bible
so
buckets to buy.
You're not gonna live forever. I'm sorry.
I know.
My bunker is plenty secure already.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They offered me virtually nothing.
Yeah. So I guess what I wonder is, was Infowars literally just Alex Jones, or was it like, did they have
I'm
other
sure
shows?
he had like a couple of,
a
mini Alex Jones, licking his butt.
Bunch of folks. Also, though, if anybody is going to buy Infowars, the Onion might be the perfect one, because who else is going to buy Infowars for a purpose other than what it already was?
Yeah.
You know?
They would buy it. Like you could see Fox News buying it as like a subsection.
Or OWN or one of those, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Ooh.
You know, the Onion.
The Onion. It's perfect. Yeah. Thank you, The Onion. It always... The Onion is one of those things that seems to be okay. Like there are very few brands. Like there are brands that I liked back in the day, but very few of them. Like if you listed to me popular brands from 2002, I don't know that I would continue to think that any of them are decent, but maybe The Onion. They continue to do solid work. They seem to treat their employees well.
Yeah. They the guy who started Twilio, I guess, bought it from the private equity dweebs who were kind of running it poorly. And since then it's just been chef's kiss. It's been so good.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Return to their roots.
It's pretty amazing. Now, as far as companies that I don't like years later, probably any company that trades in DNA tracking. Anybody who's had your DNA for more than a few years, you probably shouldn't trust them. But we've got a story here about this is like a European DNA tracking company that went under, and now nobody knows what's going to happen to their private records.
According to this article, too, it had ties with Russia.
Yeah.
So
Russian ties. Is that like? Yeah, it's fine. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked.
Well, that just means that in Russia, they're going to make like a cloned village with clones of all the people. And then when you get sick, they'll sell you organs like at a huge markup. And if you don't buy the organs, then they torture your clone.
Yeah.
I was thinking they just used a fun little feature, like they showed you what percentage you are borscht. You know?
I'm a very small percentage.
You might have a
borscht.
cousin who makes the same recipe of borscht as you do. He adds potato. You know.
I haven't eaten a beet or a tomato in several days, so I am probably very little borscht.
You're very little borscht.
Very low percentage of borscht. Is borscht beet or tomato?
It's beet. I mean, come on. Tomatoes didn't come to Europe until after the discovery of the New World. So.
Yeah, that's Gestapo, right? Or Gestapo?
It's the Gestapo.
Yeah, it's the Gestapo.
Gazpacho police. Yeah.
The Gestapo is the tomato police. Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Gazpacho. That's what I was trying to get.
There you go.
There you go. I knew it was in there. Although it would be kind of cool if the Gestapo ate gazpacho, and then you could like write songs and stuff about it. That's a Weird Al song waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll contact his people.
Yeah. I don't know. You can probably get a hold of him, but we could definitely get a hold of like John Colton or something. But I don't know that.
I have his phone number yet.
I probably do too. Well, let's see. What else do we have on the list? Because everybody who sold your DNA to those guys, that's fine.
Yeah,
And
23andMe is out there. I think they traded it for a bowl of soup. All their DNA data.
Yep.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly owned by a private equity firm that will ultimately use it to maximize shareholder value. And by shareholder value, it's the three guys in a dark room who definitely have your best interests at heart. They care only about you.
Definitely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Definitely.
They're good. They're good people. Let's see. Well, we have. Oh, this is Rob. This one was your thing, the shark story.
Yeah, these scientists attached lights to surfboards to help sharks identify that they aren't seals. And one of the types of lights they attached was strobe lights, and it just reminded me in the game we had a story about this guy who made shark repellent lights to attach to your surfboards that played music, and this is halfway there. So
prescient, you guys. Everything about Fractured Veil was just a view of the future.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly, or the present search quality. Yeah,
right.
Yep. Everything's gonna be fine, guys. Everything's great. There's been a lot of things that you wrote in the game that ended up kind of coming true in some way, shape, or form. So
Rob is prophetic.
Yeah, I'm putting together my book soon. All my prophecies.
Your prophecies. You can, instead of QAnon, you can be Aranon.
Ranon.
Roxxon. That's a different thing. That's
the
a
oil
Marvel
company in Lego, or is that Marvel?
I think it's Marvel. Is that was Hammer's company?
Yeah.
No, that was something else. Roxxon was the owners of the ships that they fought in Iron Man 3.
But it wasn't that
like a big
owned
oil
by?
company, so.
I thought that was owned by Sam Rockwell's character. That company. From
I'm checking, but it's just an oil company in Marvel.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an arms company. It's like a secondary. It's like a competitor to Stark Industries, and usually evil.
Well, apparently they bid on the Baxter building, only to be outbid by Parker Industries. This is the thing about, you go into the whole world of comics and history. It's just such a jumble.
Well, when you've got 60, 70 years of
nonsense.
Yeah. Like consistency isn't exactly the rule.
And hundreds and hundreds of writers.
Oh, yeah.
And an absurd number of multiverse nonsense. And then you have to have the Crisis of Infinite Earths to collapse it all. It's just dumb.
Spin-offs. And have either of you been watching?
Gender bent, Justine Hammer is now running Roxxon Oil. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, nothing matters. Sam Rockwell was one of my favorite characters, though.
He was great.
Sam Rockwell is one of those actors on the list. Like if I see a movie's got Sam Rockwell in it, I'm going to probably watch that movie.
Yeah. I mean, Matchstick Men. I mean, even he was good in Argyle. I liked him in Argyle. Everyone likes that guy. He's great.
I liked Argyle, though. He was Galaxy Quest, man.
The Green Mile.
Yeah.
He is such a terrible person in that movie.
Wow. Yeah. He does play a really good terrible person. Rob,
he was a bad guy in the Charlie's Angels movie. I mean, he's everywhere. He's amazing.
Yeah, no, he's been in 1,000 movies.
But you know what he hasn't been in?
Moon. Have you seen Moon?
Yeah.
Of course you've seen Moon. Moon is so great.
He's never worked for Octane Energy, though.
Well, that's a career goal for him, I guess.
For us all.
For us all. Rob, this is another one of yours. This is the bear costume.
Yeah. So the insurance company claims this person was dressing in a bear costume and breaking into cars to defraud insurance, but they have video of it. And I don't know that I've seen a person in a bear costume that I thought was, wow, that really looks like a bear. So I don't know. I didn't read all the way through it. I just thought
you're there for the costume shot.
Yeah.
Pretty fashionable. Oh yeah.
Look, he's got like the things from the kitchen, you know.
It's thought through.
Yeah.
Rawr. Rawr.
Like, you know, pork shredders.
Is it?
I assume he wasn't wearing the shirt.
Yeah, there's a shirt.
Well, is that a shirt or like a plastic bag that's holding it? You know? Or maybe it's to cover the signs from the Scritch Fest.
Oh, he's a good bear. He needs scritches.
That's a furry thing. Wrong,
oh.
Just, you know.
I like to give my kitty scritches. Does that mean I'm a pervert?
No. Don't say that. No. Not under. Well, I mean, under, you know, Attorney General Matt Gaetz, I'm sure he's fine with it.
Yeah, it's fine. You know. Everything's fine.
He's like, well, are they under 17?
You got to be careful now, because you're gonna get us sued, because now this is the new world order that we live in. You can't criticize Big Brother.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's the list of what I had on the Zone. Although I did have one other thing to mention. Maybe a year ago, Chris, you shared with us a movie called L'Empire.
L'Empire? Oh, sure. Yeah. Is it out?
Yeah. And I watched it this week.
Was it great?
It is bonkers, bananas, apeshit. I watched that movie the same day that I watched Megalopolis.
Oh, boy. And
it's weirder than Megalopolis. And I would actually say it's better than Megalopolis. And I definitely enjoyed it more than Megalopolis.
Wow.
It's really hard to describe it, and I'm not going to hold back on spoilers on this one, because it's so loony, because it's kind of just this weird vibe piece. It's a French countryside, and some of the people are possessed by, I guess, maybe angels, and some of them are possessed by demons, but they're actually aliens. And they're kind of like the light side of the force and the dark side of the force. And they each have like an emperor, a queen, and they're all trying to get a baby that's like going to save or destroy the world or whatever.
As you do.
As you do.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is that there aren't really very many special effects. It's just like people walking around in the countryside talking and riding horses.
And then it's French.
Yeah.
And was there an accordion player in the background of the Empire?
No. But then occasionally they'll go into a clearing in the forest, and then suddenly they're on board a spaceship, which is actually just the interior of a cathedral. Oh. And the spaceships are just cathedrals that are they're just cathedrals that fly around through space. And they're barely in it. And
space then churches.
Yeah. And then sometimes somebody draws a lightsaber and chops off somebody's head.
I mean, it is the Empire.
It is L'Empire.
L'Empire.
And sometimes they have insane sex, but like from 1,000 feet away. So there's just like two little people way off in the distance that are definitely doing it. Because like sometimes the people who are possessed by the bad aliens and the good aliens have to get it on. And I have to tell you, it is like a no budget or very low budget thing. It's so surreal and so messed up, and it's kind of worth watching, but you have to kind of know that it's like really weird and cheap. But that's like the aesthetic. That's the point. And some of the actors aren't very good. And then but the bad guys are like black goo. And then sometimes the black goo dances, and you get to watch black goo dance. And then sometimes, because animating black goo is expensive, you put a person in like a full black bodysuit and have the black bodysuit dance. And then you mat off their arms and head. So they're just like a dancing bodysuit with no arms and head. This is a weird movie, and it's kind of worth watching, but only for the weirdness. I can't say the same about Megalopolis. There's very little to there's very little to recommend about Megalopolis.
Sorry to hear that.
I am not at all surprised. It's kind of long. I think somebody said in the channel a while back that it looks like a Neil Breen movie, and I think that's the best comparison that I can hear. There's a lot of like ranting and monologues about government and corruption and morality and art. Like it's like an old man shakes fist at sky kind of movie. And it there's some really, really pretty shots. And then other times it looks like the crappiest green screen, like as good of a green screen as we have going for us on the podcast. Like,
hey, our green screens are fantastic. By comparison, I'm looking at shots from it. I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
that was a choice. You know?
Yep. Like
here's their Notre Dame spaceship. Let me see if I can share it to the channel here.
Beep, beep, beep.
Beep, beep, beep. There you go.
Yeah, that's their spaceship. Well, that's so that's Le Empire. That's not Megalopolis. Megalopolis looks just as bad. Yeah, so that's.
You're talking about
Megalopolis. No, Megalopolis is looks even dumber.
Well, what's funny about it is I was scrubbing through it and I was like, is this just a generic French movie or is it, you know?
Yeah. Well, and so I was like 5 minutes into it and I had to scrub through just to make sure I had the right movie because there's not really a lot of science fiction in stuff. Like there's a bunch of people talking about weird shit. But like they have all sorts of like the bad guys I think are the zeros and the good guys are the ones, and they're trying to protect the Wayne, which is the name of their like god baby. But like because they're using all this weird language, it's really hard to figure out what's going on. And also because it's French. And I don't speak French. I don't know if I mentioned that.
No.
Anyway, those were the two good things that the two major things that I saw in the last week. Is either of you guys see anything worth watching?
I was traveling like the whole time and seeing my kid get her master's, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But her friend is showing him a film at the Melbourne Film Festival. I think I told you about it. Grandma's a Bitch.
Grandma's a bitch. All right.
And basically her grandmother's the worst person who's ever existed. Like, yeah. So it's impossible to find this movie unless, you know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. So.
All right.
Did I watch much? I've been mostly just, you know, flying and watching reruns. So
see, I rewatched Godfather 1 and 2 before Megalopolis. So
oh wow. So do you need those to enjoy Megalopolis?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that I knew that Coppola was at one point an excellent filmmaker. Because the Megalopolis doesn't so much tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my my watch list, but my app is not updating for things that I have seen recently. Those are the only two movies that I watched recently. I watched a couple other movies that were terrible.
Yeah.
It's been a bad week for finding entertaining media.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Music by John Williams is a documentary on Disney Plus. It's exactly what you think.
A lot of piano.
Just it's famous people telling you how great John Williams is.
So you know the tunnel under O'Hare that had Brian Eno?
Yeah.
Music playing in the light show.
Yeah.
So we were at the Detroit airport yesterday.
Less fun.
And they have a tunnel between concourses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the spazzy seizure-inducing version of that. I don't know if you've been there.
I have been there. It's I guess
they have a button to shut it off if you're sensitive to flashing lights.
That's good.
And they were playing like a rockabilly version of some Christmas song. And I'm like, oh, you learned the wrong lessons in Chicago.
Yep.
You know, so it's a good airport. I'm not coming down on the airport.
No,
but
actually,
that tunnel,
the Detroit airport is really great.
What's that?
The Detroit airport is actually quite great.
It's quite great. Yeah.
All right. On Blue is recommending Vampire Zombies from Space. I will.
Wait, do I need to revive my my reminder and put put Ambalu's name in there? Or
I don't know. Has he failed you as a film recommender in the same?
I don't know.
To the same degree that I
Zombie
have?
vampires from space. I mean, that doesn't sound good.
I'm all in.
Sounds the other thing.
I'm all in. But I mean, like, I'm watching.
No offense, bud.
I'm watching What We Do in the Shadows, the new season of that right now.
Boy, that's good. I love that show.
That's been my happy palate cleanser in a shitty couple of weeks.
And indeed, Nadja, the actress who plays Nadja, has been pregnant, so they've been playing the games with the pillows. And
have they? That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. I guess I hadn't noticed.
You hadn't noticed?
Well, she wears like big old gowns and stuff.
I mean, she's always wearing insane stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't be very good at noticing, I think. Anything else that we need to get off of our chests before we go about our busy days?
Nope.
That awkward lull says it's time for me to say goodbye to Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
To Chris DeBona.
Bye.
And thanks for listening. That was episode 866 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Banner Taco Maldo. We'll talk to you some other time. Bye-bye.